So, Wes, I have a question for you today. So, are there stories on your TikTok that you decided not to tell because of one reason or another?
Actually, yeah. Most of them I do tell them. There's just this one story that I decided I wouldn't tell on TikTok. So, it was about a woman who has son. So, basically, I was very new to TikTok and I had just begun entering now the storytelling part of TikTok, sorry. Because most of the time, I would just tell stories that have happened to me, people I know, my experiences generally, things I've seen, things I've observed. But then now I entered that phase of TikTok where people now tell you their stories because for one reason or the other, they're not comfortable sharing it themselves. So ikafika point napata stories mingi sana. Now I'm reading stories, I'm dramatizing stories, I was saying. And then I don't know what story I did. This woman came into my inbox and she told me she has a really deep story to share. So I was like, okay, sure. I thought it was just like any other story that I've ever told. Wait, let me tell you. She told me that story. My flabber was being gasted live because I couldn't believe it. And you know, the only time I've ever told that story is that I was telling people that story while I was on live on TikTok. I never posted it anywhere, but the people who are on that live can remember that story. So basically the gist of it is this lady committed a heinous crime against her son. And part of the reason that she did that, in fact, the biggest reason that she did that was to keep a man. And I know you're probably wondering, or somebody might wonder, why didn't I tell it? One, I got a bit afraid that I might tell it, and since it involves a person's life, I end up like in trouble, or I have to like disclose who this person was or stuff like that. So I thought I might tell it and it becomes a matter of public interest, and then now when it's a matter of public interest, you have very little leeway in protecting your sources. So yeah, I ended up not telling it. Yeah, and it still shocks me to this day. So I don't know, maybe I'll find a workaround and I can possibly tell it, or maybe people in the comments can tell me whether I should tell it or whether there's a workaround to how I can tell that story without being incriminating.